Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm here with my partner in crime, the birthday boy himself, Mr. Tate Mathews, who today, the taping of the show, is 33 years young.
Plus 14.
47?
47.
You look great, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I was thinking about you earlier today. We were before you came in, I told the crew that it was your birthday, and then we got to talking about that story you told about the ring on the back of your head, and you said, okay, I've got to shave it now.
Yes.
I saw a picture of myself from the side the other night, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Nowhere near.
Uh-oh.
Nowhere near. You're
Listen,
still good.
You've got to promise me, maybe our viewers out there can hit me up on an email or direct message me on Twitter. Don't put it on, and just say, hey, it's time.
It's time.
Well,
no.
I
promise you.
Make sure you let me know.
I will. Hey, you know what's crazy, man? You've already done this a little bit ago, but geez, I can remember. It's crazy, man, right? You get this old, and then I can remember when I was 13 years old, I thought 50 was, geez, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer.
I'm 50. Appreciate you for bringing that up.
But I don't think we act. You know what I'm saying?
I think everybody says that, though.
Yeah. Then you get up to it and don't feel a day over 30, man.
47's the new 25.
Dang right. Let's go. I'm still the boat captain.
So the 25-year-old Tate Mathews, would he be able to come on the show and keep it respectable? And
Yeah, of course, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, you could have?
Yeah. I mean, we keep it respectable. Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, I thought maybe we'd have to like redo some things. Say, okay, you can't do that or say that or
No.
refer. I mean, you got to change your.
No. My mother raised me, right?
Oh, she did. She did. That's true. It wasn't your dad. It was your mother.
He went around. He was recruiting.
He's coaching. All right, Tate, let's do this. So we had that busy week in sports after we had the Groundhog Day of that snow week, and then, man, did we make up for it last week. There was a lot of stuff going on. We'll start off with state wrestling at the AAA Individual State Championships. Fairview finished 4th as a team, Nolensville 7th as a team. Riley Bennett at 145 was the only WCS state champion, boys, girls, small class, large class, and he had been a runner-up 3 times. What a great story. So happy for Riley Bennett.
Great story. So happy for him. If it won, who would have thought the only WCS state champion, but 3-time runner-up, gets over the hump this year. Starting quarterback for the football team. What a great, he is a yellow jacket through and through, and so many people, you could talk to other wrestling coaches in the county. We're so happy that he got it, man. He's a guy that everybody was cheering for. Dual sport, you don't always think about the football wrestling, right? Everybody thinks football, basketball, or football, baseball. Didn't hurt him, the state champ, 3-time runner-up. I'd say he'll probably end up on the Wall of Fame in the wrestling room. Great career, great young man. Really happy for him.
Me too, Tate. It was one of those things that, like you said, I think everybody was rooting for Riley. Runners-up from Fairview, Malachi Bennett, Ken Curtis, Jacob Clevenger. Nolensville finished 7th. 7 of their 10 medaled. Fairview had 8 medal, and that was 15 of the 22 wrestlers from Fairview and Nolensville who actually medaled. Dakota Patty and Nathan Montpool from Nolensville. Now, Fairview finished 4th, and we thought, and I know Coach Derrick thought, had a chance to win the whole thing, and they really did. Pigeon Forge 193. Then from 2nd on down, it was really tight. Signal Mountain 174.5, Greenville 172, Fairview 169. But there were some matchups in the championships that could have made a difference.
Well, the one match changes that, can shuffle all that up, and that's what's crazy, man. That's what there is you mentioned it. There a couple of shows ago. There is a difference between the way you attack the dual championship and the individual, but still no shame in that. But yeah, one single match could have put them all the way up to 2nd.
In the AAA division, Summit finished 5th. Cleveland was the state champion. Page 19th, Franklin 26th. Indy 27th, Brentwood 37th, Centennial 40. Here's what I thought was interesting, and maybe I'm wrong about this, maybe it's just my thought, I should have researched this, but you tell me what you think. Even though I think some other years we've had more champions, we had 1 champion, but the depth was better, so actually the team finishes seemed higher. Summit finishing 5th, and AAA, that's a pretty darn good finish.
Great year. And they've only got 2 senior starters, so they're going to be back. But great year. They just had some guys that it's not. That's just how it works there, right? There's some guys that could have placed a little higher, but that's how even they all were. But a great year, and to finish 5th. We've had them get that high, close before. Recently, we've got some. Franklin's got some state wrestling championships, but that's just Cleveland, man. Cleveland wrestling is. It's not quite, but it's Brentwood volleyball-esque.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Think about that. Summit dominated this division, and they beat them by 150 points. That's pretty crazy.
Pretty impressive.
No, man. The two seniors, the Spartans they plan on getting 5th or better next year.
Speaking of Brentwood volleyball, I was going to mention this here in a little bit, but I'll go ahead and mention it now. Kathy Cram, assistant coach, has now been named head coach. Congratulations to Coach Cram. And, Coach, no pressure.
How many they won in a row? 8?
She'll do a great job, did a great job last year filling in, so excited for her. I know Coach Campbell's excited for her as well. Hopefully they can just keep that thing going.
I think they will, and well-deserved for her. Kind of, the way it played out, pretty neat that she was able to pretty much coach the team the whole season last year, so she's ready. She knows what to do. And it's not like the cupboard's bare, so they'll be okay.
I think they'll be fine.
I'm really glad that Mr. Kydell gave it to her.
Very exciting for her. Very exciting. In terms of the AAA wrestling, let's go back to wrestling. 10 of the 26 wrestlers who were there medaled. 2 third-place finishers, Summit's Jackson Masters at 120, Independence Russell Ford at 106. 6 of the 9 wrestlers medaled for Summit. 3 missed it by only 1 match. Other medalists for Summit, Austin Knoll, Justin Knoll, Finley Jamison, Luke Justice, Landon DeSalle, Paige Mitchell Lambert, Franklin, Owen Goebel, Brentwood, Zach Ordonez. In the girls' competition, congratulations to Independence.
Yes.
6th place team finish and 3 young ladies who were 3rd or better.
No doubt about it.
Great finish for them, Tate.
Bailey Peterson was runner-up at 125, Brooklyn Long 3rd at 140, and then Riley Lent at 3rd at 103. And I think I told you this. This was a little bit before you got there, but you know it now. Coach Grindstaff was the first guy to really go all in on girls wrestling in Wilco. And I don't think it's any coincidence that right now they have the best girls program.
No doubt about it. Summit, Nevia Brinson 5th at 103. Brentwood, Erica Moore 4th at 132. She was the first Brentwood lady wrestler to make it to the state. So congratulations to Erica. Fairview, Olivia Spain 6th at 112. So wrestling, it's over. I think a lot of people thought we wouldn't finish wrestling. It turned out when you're talking about things like contact tracing, and though it's actually easier in wrestling. It ended up being a pretty smooth deal. Plus, in wrestling, and you know this with your background, wrestling is all about hygiene and cleaning, and they're kind of used to it.
No, they were prepared, right? They have to do it anyways. You want to talk about something that spreads fast? Let a case of ringworm get in your wrestling room. Yeah, they were already prepared to do it.
Does cauliflower ear spread, or is it just something you get from banging heads over the years?
It's from that ear getting hit. And most of the time when you see a real bad one, they wanted it. Like if you wear a headgear,
they want it.
Oh yeah, it's like a badge of honor for the the nuts. Those are the type of guys that grow up and they probably become MMA fighters. You know what I'm saying? Which I respect.
It's like a bad tat. At the time, it seems like a good idea, and then next thing you know, you're living with it.
You'll remember this because we're the same age, ish. You remember like when you had the buddy who went out and got the Tasmanian devil tattoo on his deltoid, and you're like, man, that's pretty cool. Then you get to about 22, 23, you're like, oh my gosh, same deal.
And then he ends up spreading as you get older. He's like a different shaped Tasmanian
He becomes
devil.
Yogi Bear. These kids don't even know who Tasmanian devil is. Yes, cauliflower ear is, if you wear a headgear, you're not getting it.
Okay, just making sure. Let's talk a little hoops here.
Love it.
Girls basketball. So last week going into the show, it was district semifinal time. Brentwood defeats Summit 43-34. Page defeats Spring Hill 66-48. Set up a championship game between Page and Brentwood. Page with the win, 66-48. Second straight district championship for Coach Brock and Page. It avenged 2 losses in the regular season. Lily Wilkin, who was named MVP of the tournament, scores 22. Mackenzie Cochran, 19. Great tournament run, and it continued. We'll talk about the region here in just a second for Coach Brock and Page.
No doubt about it. And you mentioned Lily and Mackenzie, obviously 2 very athletic young ladies who can fill it up. And then you look at Sydney and Sophie Roston and Amelia Osgood. It's a lot of talent on that court right there. But you mentioned them avenging the 2 losses. No, I don't think it's really a surprise Page beat them because I think they're that even. Were you surprised at the difference in the score?
I really was. In fact, if you go back and look at our picks, I think we were probably thinking Brentwood would win, but Page, they're playing their best basketball when it matters.
No doubt about it.
I ended up watching them in the region tournament earlier in the week, and they've got it going. They really do. So, yeah, the margin of victory definitely surprised me. Going in, I thought Brentwood would come out on top. I certainly didn't anticipate an 18-point Page win.
Right. But when Page gets hot, you're in trouble.
Got a lot of young ladies who can score. Consolation was Summit 60, Spring Hill 45. That led us to the region tournament. First round matchups and results. Page 77-21 over Hillwood. Brentwood 87-18. Good night. Sorry, Hillwood. That's unbelievable. Summit 47-54 loss at Hillsboro. Spring Hill dropped their game to Cane Ridge 61-54, Captain.
Are you telling me Coach Thrash rode home on a boat after the Hillwood game?
Coach Brock was his co-pilot. Goodness. 56-point win and a 69-point win.
When you bust out the boat captain hat in basketball, that was bad.
Or good, depending on your perspective.
Right. Yeah, no surprise there. You hate it for them, but I don't know. That first round region matchup rarely goes well for that 3rd and 4th seed in that other district.
Yeah, I agree. Didn't go well for us this time. Summit Hillsboro, I think, is one that maybe surprised us. 47-54. Coach Wild and Summit, they led like 20 minutes of that game, but it comes down to, and Coach always says it, you got to put the ball in the basket. Summit had a tough night shooting, and it results in a 7-point loss.
He's got a hilarious quote. I ran across it the other day on his Twitter. Some guy tweeted something about being open. He said, bad shooters are always open.
It's the old, Coach, I'm open, yeah, but the opponent knows something you don't.
There's a reason why you're open.
Hey, they're in on it and you're not. All right, let's talk about the semifinals. Page 47-31, an impressive win over Hillsboro. Low-scoring defensive struggle. Now, this is actually correct. I'm not saying this incorrect. Hillsboro had 1 field goal in the second half, and it came with like 2 minutes to play. It was tied 21-all early in the third. After that, 26-10 run by Page. They dominated, 10 straight wins. Lily Wilkin, Mackenzie Cochran, they led the team. Back in that second straight region championship game last year, a runner-up to Brentwood.
Here, what do you like about Lily's stats the most in that game?
The free throws.
10 for 11, man. That's awesome.
Got to make them when they matter. You know, and it's interesting about free throw shooters. I'm sure Lily, in the course of the game, shoots them well too. But I've seen people who didn't shoot them well during the game, but they make them when they matter, and I've seen the opposite happen.
Correct.
So it's interesting, and obviously she stepped up. She made them at the end when they really mattered.
No doubt about it.
Great job there from Page. And then one that it surprised me. Again, this is 2 games that surprised me with Brentwood. Maybe I just have confidence in Coach Thrash and Brentwood. They're up 37-19 at the half at Cane Ridge. By the end of the third quarter, they're down 43-42. Have a couple of good looks there at the end of the game, but they lose to Cane Ridge, who's a good team. They were the number 2 seed for a reason. Cane Ridge, the number 1 seed for a reason. They were the 1 seed out of that district. 63-60, tough way to end the season for Coach Thrash and Brentwood. What a great career, Amelia Osgood and some of the others that have been playing for a while there. Tough way to end.
Tough way to end. You're right. Great career for Amelia. She's, she left it all on the court. Nothing to be ashamed of there, man. I think she had as great of a career as you could have. Dr. Qualls and I used to talk about this all the time. Cane Ridge is the one that always scares me. One, because they're athletic, and two, Joanne Tribune can coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's the one I always get scared of in the girls when we meet them, because she knows what she's doing, and usually they can run. And so they obviously shot well that night, but you hate to see it. But what a great 2-3 year run it's been for the Lady Bruins.
Well, and again, impressive win for Cane Ridge when you're facing not only Osgood, but Ryan and Wampler and Roston and Lorenzi. I mean, that's a good team. So that's why I think we had such confidence in Brentwood. Again, great season for them. I know they came up short because they had the state tournament on their mind.
They did, for sure. Don't be surprised if Cane Ridge doesn't get there.
I think you're right. They've got a shot. Got to stay away from Lebanon. Doesn't mean they can't be beat, but you need to stay away from Lebanon.
That's right.
On the boys' side, district semifinals, Franklin 65, Page 43. Brentwood in the Battle of the Woods semifinal version, they avenged 2 season losses with a 51-44 win. I said that wrong. Ravenwood with a 51-44 win. And then in the championship, Franklin in the rubber match. They had split during the season. Franklin comes out on top 59-53. Franklin starts the game on an 11-3 run, and really from there, Ravenwood was battling. They got the lead some. It was kind of back and forth, but I think that start was big for Franklin. Some big free throws for Franklin at the end of the game, some timely threes by Connor Bevan. 23 straight wins for Franklin with that win over Ravenwood.
Did you ever have a team do that?
I don't think that many. I really don't. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't remember that kind of winning streak. I really don't. It's impressive.
It's impressive, and you keep thinking, oh, surely they're going to drop one. They don't do it, and playing really well. That Ravenwood Franklin game is those two teams. It's always close, right? But who picked Franklin to win that game?
Oh, I'm glad you. I wasn't gonna say that's nice. You're on offense. You're like, look, I'm gonna get it over with. So we had some picks last week, and we picked the same boys and girls, and the only game that was different was Franklin and Ravenwood.
That's right. Hey, man.
But it was a good pick on your part. My pick was just a little bit better. I picked the winner. 23
in a row. It's unbelievable, man. Reed Kemp, 24 points. The district MVP, though. I think that's surprising. Not just because the way it's been going, but I love that. Is there a better teammate? I hate to say that because that's not fair to everybody else. There's probably as good a teammates, but you can't be a better teammate than Thurman. Is that fair?
Well, Thurman, MVP of the district tournament.
That's what I'm saying.
As you mentioned, Kemp was MVP regular season, Thurman
right.
In the postseason. I think the most impressive stat for me for Thurman is he leads the team in assists.
Yep.
You're going to be hard-pressed to find a big guy that leads your team in assists.
I love it. Teammate, man. Leader.
No doubt. Brentwood 55-44 over Page in the consolation. Let's move on to the region tournament. First round, Franklin 68-36 win over Antioch. Ravenwood 58-45 over Hunters Lane. Brentwood with what some would consider an upset, 51-45 win at Hillsboro. Page bows out after a great season, 56-76 loss to Cane Ridge. That Brentwood win was big. And Hillsboro at home jumped out early, like 13-4, but Brentwood kept battling back and shot the ball well. Griffin Burke, big fan of this show, played well. Griffin is just one of those young men that says, hey, get on my back. I'm going to take you to the promised land.
I got it. Yeah, and that was a big win for several reasons. One, you talked about it, is Coach Thweet is a good coach, and they're always going to keep the scoring low, and it's going to be tough, grinded out basketball, and probably more physical than what they've seen regular season in district. Not, because that's the way they play it. Over there, you're probably not going to get all the good calls, but you're right. That was a big win for them, and yeah, Griffin's a winner, man.
And I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself here in just a minute. when we start talking about the region girls championship and then the boys semifinal matchup. So we'll get to pick'ems here in just a second, because I believe in giving a guy another chance.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, you won football.
Or you just you look forward to beating me again.
Well, let's see. You won football fair and square, even though I was competing. Super Bowl, I had to tie the thing up, and now, so we'll just see how it goes.
I still don't. Like, how did that happen?
All right, let's talk our AA teams. Fairview's girls finished third in the district tournament, got a win in the region quarterfinals to move on to the semifinals. Been years since that had happened, one of the best years in the school's history. Ran into a buzzsaw at Creekwood, 67-34 loss after Fairview had won both games during the regular season. But a great season overall for Fairview and Coach McGowan.
Best season I can remember. Maybe a historic season for them. So you hate to see it end that way, but, that was one of those nights that the ball just wasn't going in the hoop, man, and it was for Creekwood. And like you've said, Creekwood's really good. So you hate to see it end like that, but that's just the way the ball fell that night, and still an unbelievable season for them.
And Creekwood has dominated that league, so you figure in the tournament they've got a little different mindset. My thought is if Fairview gets back to that, then they'll be, hey, we've had a good season. Now we know how to approach the tournament a little bit different. That's experience. That's experience of being there. The boys' side, Coach McCoy and the boys make it all the way to the championship game. They defeated Camden in the semifinals of the district and then lost an overtime classic to Creekwood, 65-64. It was the fourth straight finals appearance for Fairview. They won the previous three. So a great showing there. I think a lot of people thought Coach McCoy and the Yellow Jackets were dead in the water this year. They proved that wrong. They host Marshall County in the quarterfinals, down big at half, maybe like 37-12. They fight all the way back, but they just can't get over the hump. They lose 60-53 in the quarterfinals. Kennedy Pendergrass, 19 points, 8 rebounds. Great season, great career for that young man.
No doubt about it. He'll be missed, and just got down. You mentioned it, got down too many. Couldn't give up that many to Marshall County. But you're right. I think all in all, especially for the preseason expectations, great year for the boys.
Nolensville girls, they won their third straight district tournament, defeating Forest 47-33. Then in the region, they host Stewart County. They lose a heartbreaker. A buzzer beater for Stewart County eliminates Nolensville. I know they had plans to go deep again. It's just the way it works. It's what makes basketball, the tournament, so great once you get into elimination games. Now, I know we've got some games you can lose and can't, but when you get in those games that are true elimination games, it's what makes it exciting. Sometimes that works out as a positive, sometimes a negative. Obviously, that was a negative for Nolensville, but great game for Zoe Pillar, 19 points, 16 rebounds. Cayman Ladd, 12 points. Again, great careers for those young ladies.
Great careers for them. Tough, man. That's all you can say about that one. That is, especially with what happened last year. But, great run, and they will be missed, man. Zoe and Cayman, great careers. Cayman.
And you're like the biggest Zoe Pillar fan, maybe.
Love her, man.
Besides maybe your family.
And look what she did, 19 points, 16 rebounds.
Because you can see Zoe like getting it done on the football field. That's why you love her. She's tough.
She's tough.
You love that about her.
Heck yeah. Refs are, calling fouls on her because, she's being mean to those other girls. Golly, man, come on. I'd take her.
No doubt.
I'm not going to go on my recruiting pitch, but, how I feel about some of the local football teams around here. Local basketball programs. How you let her out of the state? Give me a break.
Wow.
Right?
Tate Mathews, the jury has spoken.
Well, I mean, nobody comes to our games. Maybe if you signed some people from the state of Tennessee, they'd come to your games. Tell me she can't play?
Yeah, in case you didn't know, Tennessee plays like the best girls basketball in the country.
Correct.
But, anyway. Let's do pick'ems, Tate. You're a little on the edge. You're a little on the edge, so I think we need to do pick'ems. So let's start. I got a feeling we're going to pick this the same. But maybe we don't.
Nope. I got to change up the game, buddy.
Okay. Region Girls Championship. Page hosting Cane Ridge. I'm going with
Page.
Mr. Brock and Page to win in a tight one. I'm going to say 5-6 points.
Here's where I'm going with this. If this game, you're gonna say what? If this game is 50 points or lower, Cane Ridge wins. I think it's got to be more than 50 for Page. I don't really believe this, but I got to shake it up. I'm going with Joanne Tribute and the lady. Do you know their mascot?
Ravens.
Ravens. That's exactly
Come
right.
on, man. So,
I should have known.
So, Coach,
I don't really believe it, but that's what I'm picking.
Coach Rathbone, I hope you're watching, because he is notorious for going, come on, Tate, give us a break. So, once again, Coach Rathbone, Tate has gone against Page High School.
I know. It's bad. I got to shake it up.
Okay. All right, let's talk boys region semifinals. We're going to start Franklin, number 1 seed, versus Brentwood, number 3. I'm going to tell you, to me, this is a dangerous game for Franklin. Obviously, I mean, it's an elimination game. I feel like Franklin is, all the pressure's on them. They've won 24 in a row now. They beat Brentwood twice during the season. Brentwood was supposed to be eliminated by Hillsboro. I feel like Brentwood could come in this game a little bit looser. Now, in the recent history, Franklin has really dominated the postseason matchup with Brentwood, but to me, this game is dangerous. So I'm going to let you pick first, though.
Okay.
I'm trying to set that up.
I was going to say, why do I feel like there's a but coming here?
I'm letting you pick first.
Thank you for the setup. I'm going with Franklin. I think that, I don't know. I talk about matchups a lot, and then my picks are wrong, so that goes to show I don't know what I'm talking about. I just think that I think Brentwood is a matchup problem for some people, but I think Franklin's a matchup problem for Brentwood. They've won 23 in a row, and I just think Franklin wins this one.
I agree. I'm going with. I think it's going to be a great game, though. I'm going with Franklin, and the matchup. I like it for a lot of reasons. I think traditional rival, and two of our biggest fans. We already mentioned Mr. Burke, Mr. Taylor Spirito going head to head. Same kind of young men, just tough, and they do the things that are necessary to win the game. So I'm excited about those two young men.
But you're going Franklin.
I'm going Franklin.
Okay.
All right, Cane Ridge, Ravenwood. Cane Ridge has a pro on their team. They really do. They're at home. Ravenwood won't have the big crowd because of ticket limitations. Who you picking? Or you may go first on this one. Let me go first because I want to be fair. Ravenwood. I'm going Homer on these games. I'm going Ravenwood.
Oh, man. So here's the deal. Like I've been picking Ravenwood every time. Picked them to win the district championship. Last year I did not pick them, and my good friend Mrs. Gaynor, Rex and Evan's mom, let me know about it, and Coach Whitlock let me know about it. So I thought I was going to pick Cane Ridge, but I don't really believe it. So I'm going, but I need to shake it up. I'm going Ravenwood. P. Whitty.
Oh, okay, so you are, okay.
Yeah.
So we both have Franklin, Ravenwood in the final.
Yeah.
The only different pick right now is Page girls, you got Cane Ridge girls. Franklin, Ravenwood in the final. Who wins battle number 4? Your pick.
The Band of Brothers, Ravenwood.
Wow, you picked them again.
Yep. I know who you're picking.
I'm going Franklin.
The Admirals.
I'm going with Franklin. I think Franklin wins their second region title in 3 years. Actually, it'd be third in 4 years, I think is what it is, right?
Yes.
Third in 4 years. I think they're going to do it. I think Franklin's going to do it. I know the pressure's kind of mounting for them with the number of wins. And then we'll talk sub-state next week, but I think we've got a real shot to get 2 teams in the boys' state tournament.
Oh, man.
Which hadn't happened a lot in WCS.
Happened a couple years ago.
It's happened a few times. Well, Independence Brentwood made it a year too.
Yep.
Franklin Brentwood a couple years ago. Independence Brentwood a year before that. So, yeah, it's happened.
Mount Juliet, Gallatin, those guys? Is that who we?
That's right.
Yeah.
So still surviving, you've got Northeast Clarksville, at the time of this show anyway. Northeast, Clarksville, Beach, Station Camp. I'll tell you something that was kind of personally cool for me. I mean, it's not about me, but I thought this was neat. On the same night, Franklin and Beach both won the district tournament.
Pretty cool.
I thought that was pretty
Those
cool.
are your 2 favorite schools. Well,
listen, let's don't get
no,
that
that's not
started.
right.
Let's don't get that started.
You have 9 favorite schools.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I just, because I've got history with those 2 schools.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind
You
of
coached there.
Yeah. So anyway,
Had a lot of success in both of them.
thank you. Good players.
Good players always make good coaches.
Definitely
But
helps.
sometimes you can't win without good players, but you can dang sure mess it up too. We've seen it. We've seen it, haven't we? Not going to name names, but
Tate, that being said, let's move on. Glad to be back in studio. Glad to see the crew today. Lance and Creed and Heather, who we haven't seen in months. We've seen her via email, and that's about it. But glad to see the crew today.
she looks refreshed, and she's brought a nice boost of energy today. So good to have her back.
She's brought some class back to the program.
No doubt about it.
Lance and Creed, sometimes.
Well, Lance does. Creed sometimes.
Tate, thanks for being here. Look
man.
forward to talking next week. A little sub-state basketball.
Get out to some games if you can get in, man.
If you can get in.
Right. And wear your mask, man. Okay.
Wear your mask. Why not?
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
We appreciate you joining us as always for Sports Connection, and we'll see you next time.